Let's go ahead, create our Spring Cloud project and create our first service. So for that, let's go to IntelliJ IDEA and let's create our new project. Right here, we can name it whatever we want. In my case, I've just named it full course Spring Cloud. And also here, we need to choose the archetype. And the JDK version, in my case, I'm using 19. And that's it. After that, we can create. I've already created that. Let's go to my full course Spring Cloud project. So what we have here, right? Let's go first and check the structure. So I have only 4 files here. The first file that I have here is that pom.xml, right? Pom.xml in the root directory. So this is the main pom.xml. Let's go and see what we have here. So here we are defining the group ID, artifact ID, version, and we are defining our modules, right? So basically each our service, for example, hotel service, later we will add the booking service, payment service, and so on. All of them will be in forms of the module. So we are adding here our first service, which is the hotel service. The next one is the properties. So this is our root pom.xml, right? So we are defining here properties that will be used in all our services. So here we are defining the Java version, Spring Boot version, and the Spring Cloud version. So we are using Java 17, and we are defining also Spring Boot and the Spring Cloud version. The next part is the dependency management. So what's the dependency management? Dependency management, actually, it does not add the dependency itself. It just defines the dependency, and it defines the version for those dependencies, and which is going to be used in other services and so on. So whatever we will add here, whatever module we will add here, these dependencies that we are adding in the dependency management, they will be used there. So why we are defining them here? Because we want, if we are using, let's say, 5 services, right? Like and the 5 services, and let's say that the 5 other kind of services, we want to, in all of them, version to be the same. So for example, if we are going to have here for our hotel service, we are going to have for our hotel booking, right? We are going to have 5 services: hotel service, booking service, payment service, and other services. For all of them, we want the Spring Boot version to be the same, and the same is Spring Cloud version to be the same. So that's why we are defining here dependency management. Let's say we have some other dependency that will be used in more than one module. In those cases, we are adding them here, not to have a boilerplate code. So that's the dependency management, and that's it. That's all we need to have in our root pom.xml, right? That's the first file, and the next file is that we have created one module, which is our first service. Here, what we have pom.xml, which is the building file for this service, right? And here what we are defining the parent, so which means that it has the dependency on this parent that we have defined here, right? You see that the artifact name is full course Spring Cloud, and the same we are defining here what's the parent, so group ID, artifact, and the version. And also we are defining the artifact for our current service, which is the hotel service. Here we have only 2 dependencies. We have a Spring Boot starter, and here we have a Spring Boot starter actuator. That's it. That's all 2 dependencies that we need. And also we have here one plugin. So after we put together our code in our service, so we can run it in 2 ways. One of the way is we can just run with this green button here, right? So it's a basically plugin that is used by the IDE, but in our case we are defining our own plugin. So basically in our plugin, what we have, right? In our plugin, what we have, let me move that here. In our plugin, what we are defining that that's the first plugin. The compiler that we are using is Maven compiler is for Java 17, and also we are defining the plugin for the Spring Boot, right? So the main class for our hotel service will be the hotel service application, and that's it. That's all we are defining in our hotel service. In our hotel service pom.xml. Now let's go to our first service, right? Again, it's a Spring Boot application. It's a standard Spring Boot application, and it has only one controller, right? Again, let's go to this directory. In this directory, what we have only one service, our main application, which is hotel service application, and we have one controller for it, which is that the endpoint is hotels. When we are hitting this endpoint, it will return us list of the hotels. For now, we are just hard coding that, right? Hotel 1, Hotel 2, and Hotel 3. That's it. That's all we have here. So let me open this one. So we have only 4 files, right? We have only 4 files to start our first service in the Spring Cloud. So let's go here now. Let's clear it and let's start. Again, as I said, we can go ahead here and we can start our Spring Boot application from this green button here. For that, IntelliJ IDEA already defines the configuration for the plugin. But in our case, we have defined our own plugin, and we are gonna start our Spring Boot application using this plugin that we have defined here. Let's go and exactly do that. So what we do for that, we are running mvn Spring Boot run, and we are running our hotel service. Let's run it. Let's start our Spring Boot application. As you can see here, our Spring Boot application has started. It's available on port 8080. So let's go and see that it's indeed available. Let's go here and let's reach to our endpoint. Yes, it's available. It's available on port 8080. Another way that how we can use that, we can also use, instead of using the browser, because it's a GET request, in the future we are going to use also a POST request. So for that, I would advise to use a Postman. So okay, let's check also in the Postman and let's send the request. Again, it returns us the result that we expected.